Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so thrilled that you are here today. And my stuff disappeared. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is go over the disclosure and some basic rules, if you all don't mind. But the disclosure is by participating in this course, you agree the Ultimate Investment Protection System course is offered by Sagacious Business Service Corporation, DBA, the Nest Egg Builder, for educational purposes only. The course does not provide financial, legal, tax, or investment advice, nor guarantee of the results, profits, or returns that may be made or implied. Examples and materials are illustrative only and do not constitute solicitation of or recommendations for any investment. All investment decisions are the sole responsibility of the participant, who should seek advice from qualified professionals. By enrolling, you acknowledge and agree that participation is at your own risk and that the organizer and the affiliates are not liable for any losses or outcome arising from the reliance of the course. Content, more people. Content can be used for film and advertising. This disclosure is governed by the laws of the state of California, which is where we are. So we have a few rules. They're really simple rules. Most of you already are practicing them. And after the rules, we're going to do introductions. Everyone's going to meet each other. So when we get to the introductions, we want you to just give like a 20-second of who you are, what your business is, and one benefit you expect to receive from today's course. So we like you to be here about 10 or 15 minutes early before the course begins, because we like people to do some networking ahead of time, and then the course can start on time. And that means you're all on time. So if you attend the course again, that would be great. When you have a question, raise your hand on the computer. Does everyone know how to find the icon to raise their hand? Yes, okay. Where's Jocelyn? Does Jocelyn know how to do that also? I don't see Jocelyn here. Okay. I have to change my view.
She dropped, but she's coming back in right now.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just make sure. Jocelyn, are you here? Do you know how to find the raise hand in the how? So one of the rules, I'm going over rules. I'm sorry you missed that part. To raise your hand when you want to speak, do you know how to find the raise hand at the bottom of the screen? Jocelyn, you're muted.
Yes, I do. No, I'm trying to get my video
Goes off and
situated.
on. Okay,
Yeah.
we're
No, I
gonna
mean,
do
I'm not home yet, so when I go home, I should be more situated.
It's all right. We're gonna do introductions in a few minutes, and after that, you could turn your camera off so you don't lose. We understand it pulls a lot of whatever it pulls. So asking questions, use the raise hand technology, and then we'll call on you as soon as we can call on you.
Okay.
This is a fun course, so please, no politics, religion, sex, sports, or negativity. We wish everyone to have a tremendous takeaway. So please offer positive feedback and stay away from limiting beliefs. We are here to grow, learn, and put to use what we have learned. Please be attentive with cameras on during our time together if you can. No cell interruptions or emails or multitasking. This is a course that you all asked to learn, and it is very mind-boggling sometimes. So can you imagine the future possibility in health and wealth? By learning all of this, you are the chooser. Eat well, play well, let's have it all. This is a high-powered professional space. It's not for everyone, only those who want to make a difference in their lives and are committed. Most everything in life you are building is not convenient, and you do it anyway for your success. So thank you all for being here. And I'd like each of you to please introduce yourself, and we'll start with Lachelle.
Thank you. I'm Lachelle Lowe. I have a number of businesses, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. I one of the ones that I'm most excited about is I help people facilitate meetings and be able to create conversations to deepen relationships because there's a lot of people who are really solo right now. And I also have a business that's gold and silver, and it helps people be able to invest in silver and gold at fractional amounts so that they don't have to pay the highs that we keep hitting, which are making me really excited. And so one of the reasons I wanted to be here was because I respect Peggy, and I know she has like decades and decades of investment experience, and so I wanted to hear and learn from her and her experience and her wisdom. So that's me.
Thank you very much. Anita.
Hi, I'm in Gainesville, Florida, formerly in LA. Been in Florida for about 3 years now. And my primary business is I am a wellness coach, and I'm actually getting ready to launch a weekly newsletter and start some um, online gatherings, and I will be running group wellness coaching sessions starting in January. And look forward to hearing what we're going to learn today. Thanks,
Okay, great.
Peggy.
Thank you. Jocelyn, and then Bridget.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Lodius. I am in Miami, Florida. I am a project manager by day, IT project manager, and I invest in real estate. So I have some real estate rentals, and I've always wanted to be a lender. And so hopefully this group is to help me get the Peggy's criteria and understand how to do it well, like Peggy does, because ultimately I want to switch to more passive investing rather than active, like my real estate rentals are really active, and I am looking to switch to something more passive, which will eventually lead to me not having to work a day job. I mean, I love my job, but you know, I'd rather not have to, go to work every morning. So I'm not home. I should be not on audio for probably, not on video for probably 15, 20 minutes while I drive home. And after, when I get home, I should be available for the rest of the day.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bridget. You're muted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Bridget Callahan. I live in Southern California, and I am a real estate investor. I've done some transactions in the past, and I own my home. I just put a reverse mortgage on it, so that's the extent of my investing, but would love to entertain the opportunity of doing it again as my finances grow. And I'm just here to learn how to secure my investments and my money.
Great. And you also do
I'm a graphic designer.
and help people
And
with PowerPoint so that they have powerful presentations.
that's right. So they can connect and convert with their audience.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sarah, and then Nathan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Baslow. I am a peak performance success coach and working with entrepreneurs and executives who want to keep growing and taking their skill level to a higher level. And I also, and I also am a top earner in a greeting card company that does printed greeting cards and digital cards, which I think is so important for everyone who has their own business to be able to stay in touch with their clients and let them know they really appreciate them and how grateful they are, and also to stay top of mind. So that's really important. I live in Costa Rica, and I'm grateful to be here, Peggy, because I've managed my finances in a very conservative way. No real estate or anything. So I'm not sure I would take that plunge at this time, but I'd like to know more about different investment opportunities.
Well, that makes you a pretty good Girl Scout, right? Be prepared.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you
Or
go.
Boy Scout. You know, I was a Girl Scout until I was about 13, and then I became a Boy Scout. Nathan, you're up. Yes, that's right.
Yep. I'm Nathan Glass. I'm from Sacramento, California, and I'm in commercial insurance. So we work with businesses and real estate investors. And we're also active in acquisitions, so acquiring other insurance brokers. And I'm looking to also diversify from that. So I'm not so concentrated in one particular business, things like real estate. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of it.
Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how the day's going to go. We're going to, do you all have your checklists open? We're going to start with a commercial property and go over the commercial property. Then we have a note, a loan. Someone wants to borrow money to build homes, and that it's very interesting. And then we're going to go over a business, buying a business. That's what we're going to do. Believe it or not, it's going to take a while to do all of that. We expected about 21 people here today. Marcy Green was so insistent, and here she is not. You know, Marcy, she may show up in an hour. And I am doing another one in October. So for people that would like to come back, anyway, at the end, I'll talk about the gifts. So we're going to do that. And how we're going to do that is I am going to, the sheets you got are blank. They were sent that way to you on purpose. So at the bottom, one will say commercial or income or something. That'll be the real estate that we're going to do. And I've got the opportunity, and we're going to go over it page by page. And as we go over it, you're going to put into the spreadsheet as an answer. This is an answer for you. And then when we get through with it, we're then going to go over all of it.
Caitlin Foster.
And hang on. Let me pause. You're going to put in the things that you want to know. And at the end, we're going to go over what that means to you. Were there things that were missing? Were there things you didn't really need to know? And then I'm going to go over all the things that were missing out of that. Because one thing I could tell you over the years that I've done this is there's information that is not given to you that I consider very important. And in my teaching of this, I advise that you think it's very important also. Most of the reason that people lost their money over the last 4 years is because those answers were not on the executive plan and people did not know to ask those questions. So here we go. This is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. All right. Let me find our shopping center. Oh, that's not it. Where's our shopping center?
Peggy,
I lost
on my spreadsheet, I don't have a commercial tab. I have income, construction, lender, and business.
Yeah, the income's the one that you're going to be looking at.
Okay, thank you.
Most people want income, so I just put that instead of Because when you're in commercial, there's so many varieties, so I didn't want to put exactly, I could have put commercial, I guess. That's really interesting.
There we
Okay,
go.
good.
Sorry, I just noticed that. So
Oh, it's all right. It's fine because we're going to move. Well, I think we should take a 10-minute break unless you have some more questions and then move on to
are we going to get a copy of your list by chance or not? No?
not by
Okay.
chance,
Okay.
unless you want to pay me $50,000 for it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Rich Cook's not here and he really wanted to be here. I wonder what happened. I'll
Hi,
check.
Peggy. I had a question regarding the reserve. So if
Yes.
the reserve is used up, for the example you gave about the old tank, they had to clean it up, and then assuming that just most of the reserve is used up, do they raise additional funds to have a reserve, or do they just expect it to continue
They,
operating without a reserve?
so it's their choice of what they want to do. That's why they do the reserves. The idea is this is my whole attitude about going into a deal. They better be protecting me. And one of the things to protect me from is their capital call. They didn't do their job right if there's a capital call. There's never a reason for a capital call, in my opinion. It means they didn't price the property right, which is usually the case. They didn't put the right kind of loan in. They didn't have any reserves. So that's why we have all these questions, is to protect yourself. This isn't, I mean, that is the only reason we do this. You want to protect yourself. You don't want a loss. Do losses happen? Yes. But if you're asking the right questions and you get the answers that are satisfactory to you, you won't have a loss, or you've done everything to avoid a loss. That's why it's so important to do a background check and to talk to people who have invested with these people. But I want to talk to the person that's no longer investing with them because I want to know why they're no longer investing. And I'll give you an example, and it'll be a really positive one. Someone I now know told me so we have an apartment group that we work with, and I happen to be an investor with him. And this gentleman said, "Oh yeah," he said, "I invested with him and I got such great returns. I'm now doing everything on my own because I now have the money." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. And that's fantastic." That's what you want to hear, instead of, "I'm not investing with them anymore because I'm not getting my money back." Or SEC just came in and is questioning them, or he's in jail. You don't want to hear those things. And it happens way too often. That's why the background check is really, really important. And if you don't run one, you could be in trouble. And you could hire a detective. They could do it for you, or you could get it into some companies. When you start looking at background check companies, they won't run certain things. But you want to see if they've ever been to court or why they've been to court. I run background checks. I found tickets not paid, evictions. Are those the kind of people you want to work with that don't take care of little things? Because the little things can build into bigger things. Does that answer your question at all, Jocelyn?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's take a couple of minute break, and then we are going to go into a loan. If you'd like to be a private lender, Sarah, you might consider this being a private lender. So let's look at that, and let's all be prepared to fill out as we go through the lender. I thought, oh, easy lender. No, there's just so many questions depending on what the loan is. I find If you're working with a flipper, this will be construction. So there's a lot more questions to ask in construction than there is with a flipper, amazingly. So, all right, we'll be back at, what time is it? So we'll be back at 10:25, 9-minute break. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We are just about to go over a loan. What is different about this loan than usual? Most people invest in, when they want to loan money to someone, work with a flipper. So somebody that's got a, oh, here's Caitlin. Oh, you know what? Before we start, we have two people that were not here at the beginning. So Katiana, would you introduce yourself to everyone? Take just like 20 seconds to say where you're from and what you do, please.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Sorry, I'm not on camera right now. I went to go do something real quick, and I'll be back and I'll be on camera. My name is Katiana. I'm in South Florida, sunny South Florida, and I'm here to learn from Peggy because I have lost some money in the real estate world, and I'm ready to do it right. Did I cover everything?
Except that you coach people on how to invest and make money in the stock market.
In the stock market, yes. Yes, I've been in the stock market world for a while now, and for a while it was my entire world. And then I met Peggy at a family office conference, and that shifted a lot of things for me and made me realize I need to be more diversified. And yeah, I do teach how to invest in the stock market and use your profits to diversify.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Caitlin, could you
Hello.
please introduce yourself to everyone, where you're from and what you do?
I'll be on camera. I'm going to be off camera for a second because I'm finishing breakfast. But I'm Caitlin. I'm a jewelry designer. I'm based in California, technically LA, Sherman Oaks area. And I met Peggy because I met Peggy through a friend, and he said that she would be a good fit because I was just learning and dipping my toe into real estate. So I'm happy to join everyone, and I'm actually really happy to meet a person named Katiana because everyone calls me that, and I'm happy to actually meet a person that's actually called that.
That's great. Great. Well, thank you. And then
Wow.
there's Jocelyn, Lachelle, Bridget, Nathan, Sarah, and when Anita gets back. I don't know where she went, but she'll be back, possibly. Okay. So thanks for being here, everyone. And what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at a loan. And I hope you can all see this loan. Let me make it bigger. Okay. This is from the borrower. The borrower is a company, a construction company in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And this is the name of the holdings of the person who is investing. So the lender, and then the consultant, I'm not sure who the consultant is, if that consultant is somebody that brought the lender in, or if it's the owner of the property or owner of the construction company, because I haven't seen the owner of the construction company. This is the collateral for the property, which is a very good thing. We like collateral. We want to be secured, whether we're a lender or a limited partner. And if the lender, number one, okay, so on this one, there are two borrowers. one of them is putting in 25,000, one's putting in 35,000, and the way he shows this is split. It's a 60,000 split loan with two lenders, and he's put the percentage of each of that to the $60,000. It's a lot loan, so it's a vacant lot. There's nothing on it. The closing date's coming up in a week, and it will be a recorded. They're going to borrow construction money because he's building a house. So they are asking, they're not really asking, they're telling that the lien position will end up being a second lien. It'll start as a first, but the construction loan people will not be in second position. They always insist on being in first position. So the two lenders that are coming in have agreed to take second position, which is normal. It's a 12-month term, so 1 year. It's an assumable loan, meaning somebody else could come in and have this loan still in place during the 12 months. And the exit fee, I thought this is very interesting. I've never seen anybody do this before. And it is kind of a nice way to do this. So he's actually giving profit to the two lenders. He's giving them a 15% annual return. That's $9,000. And he split it to what they would get total. So it's $9,000 on the 60,000. And it's paid at sale, pretty much at sale. And then paid at renewal for the first mortgage. He might be paying when the new mortgage comes in, but somehow, unless he pulls that money out of the construction loan. And then here's an 18% annual return, and that's accrued. They're both accrued. I thought I read that right. So accrued means that they are not making any payments. They're holding all the money. Well, they don't have money to hold. They borrowed it all. So they're accruing that. And it's paid at renewal of the second mortgage if they are given an extension or when they sell the property. The interest rate's 12%, so that's 1% a month, which is typical of when you're hard money, when you're a private lender. And then he's the lender return, so he's showing this is 60,000. The paid interest is a total of 27%, showing that the total is 16,200. And he's paying a consultant fee of $1,250, which probably could be this consultant, Ben Sampson. So that's all he said about the property. Here's the notes. He's showing the notes, okay? Showing a land loan of 60,000. Then he's showing a construction cost of 240. It's going to cost him $300,000 to build this property. So it better be really nice because this is Virginia. He doesn't put the square footage, so we don't know how much he's paying per square foot, which should be a question to ask. But he's should make approximately close to $100,000 on this. So his gross sale price, he's saying, is $419,950. Out of that, he will have closing, right? He will have to pay the land loan back, has to pay the construction loan back. So he's paying back $300,000. Plus he has closing fees when he sells the property. He might have to give something back to closing for the buyer that's coming in. So he's not going to quite get $100,000, but there's the escrow fees, which are attorney fees in Virginia. So he's got attorney fees. He'll have title fees. So he'll have about, we'll say 8% and possibly real estate fees unless he holds the broker's license. So let's just say at 8% fees at close. So whatever 8% is on that house. So he'll get 90,000, we'll just say. That'll be his profit. He's showing a 4% commission. That's nice. You're the, so he's paying 4 altogether. He's not paying a 6. And then he anticipates a profit at 103. I don't anticipate his profits to be that. Here's the house size. Ah, I should have had my 1890. I didn't do this. Where's my? So we could see how much it costs to build a square foot. That'll be different than what it costs to buy a square foot. So he's got 1850, 300,000. So it's $162 a square foot to build. He's going to sell it for $419. $18.90. It's 222 a square foot to the buyer. So when you're looking at MLS or you're looking at anything where somebody's selling a property, the listing agent will have how much it costs per square foot to buy that property, which is nice. So this is the mortgage. He's a builder. He did send, if you want to look, let me see if I can find that. I'll show you a little bit about the property, maybe. No, not that one. I don't know if I could share this or not. We'll see. Can you see that? No. Stop share. That's what it looks like now. Can you see this?
Peggy, you stopped sharing.
I did, and then I just opened up something else to share.
There, now it's starting.
Okay, good. So he's obviously started brick. That's good because they just had a hurricane come through there. Right. You got to build with something solid when you're building. He will build with stick above here, but at least he's got a solid foundation. And I don't know. And he's paying 162, which is fairly high in that area. Should be somewhere closer to 140 to 150. But because of what he's using will make a difference. And labor, of course, keeps going up. And I've got a whole lot of pictures, but he's got the pictures of what the property's going to look like when it's done. So I have to stop sharing so I could show that. Mm. Now let me share. Sorry, you guys. Trying to find my share button. My share button went away. Always fun, huh? Where's the share button, you guys? Here it is. It'll look something like this when it's complete. Can you all see that? Is my share showing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. So that's the wrap. Then they'll put plastic on it on the outside. It'll look nice when it's done. But that's how he's got his
Peggy,
1800.
that's 1,800 square feet.
I don't know if 1890, that's almost 1900 square feet. It could easily be. If
Oh,
this
really?
bottom's 1,000, the top's 1,000,
Okay.
right? 2 stories. That's how you get square footage in by going up. And he didn't put in a basement. He just put in a foundation, which I find unusual in the East, in Virginia in particular. Okay, so that's the property. That was the before picture and the after picture. And if you were a lender, if you were going to loan this company the 60,000 or part of the 60,000. Sarah, is everything here you need to know to make this loan? Anyone?
Peggy, what occurred to me was he's got an estimated, he said sale price and then his net price. I mean, I don't know if this is whatever. It just hit me that how does he know he's going to get that? Like I would like him to assume like what's the range that's possible. And
Mm,
I don't- yeah, or
that's a
something
good
like that.
question. But probably with the 3 years experience and the 24, 30 homes he's built in the area, he pretty much knows what he's going to get. He knows he's got to be paying attention to the market. But again,
Okay.
how do you know that? You go in to that area, you get
Right.
into Google, pull one of the Redfin or anything up and pull up that area, get that zip code and pull it
Mhm.
up and look to see what houses are selling for in the area. And that will tell
Right.
you if he's right. So you've got to always do research. Plus, you want to Google the guy, right? And find out. Except
Right.
I don't know what guy to Google. I did not see the owner's name there, and I'm not investing with anybody who's not proud enough to put who he is with his phone number and his email. I want to be able
Right.
to talk to the boss because this boss doesn't do one property. He buys lots of lots or buys old house lots and tears down the house and then starts afresh. He builds new, and he's only been in business for 3 years. So it's always a good question to ask. 3 years is not very long, but when you look at his experience, which let me see if I can find that.
He might have told you what he did before his 3
No,
years of building.
yeah, you could always ask that or what got him into this business.
Right.
That's not it. It gives a floor. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I look at this and I say, like when I invest in the stock market, I have the information that will minimize my or increase my probability of a profit, of a winner. I'm not sure what to ask this guy to increase my knowingness that this could be a winner.
Okay, so here's part of why he could be a winner. He started in 2023, probably 2022, because you could all see this, yes? Okay, he did like 5 houses in his first year, but it takes a year to build. He's got to find the property. Plus, it's Virginia. It rains, it snows, it ices. They get black eyes. So you've got to take that time element in. So he's got these 5 properties he did. And so he doesn't show the profit. He shows the city where it was built, the state. He just sticks to Virginia with a zip code. So there's how you could do your research on the property and what the values are. He shows the purchase date of the lots, and then he has to go through the whole construction thing. Shows he's got house plans he uses. So whatever they are, he uses the same house plans over and over, which is good. He's probably got 5 or 6 different styles. And he sells the property to an end user. And he gives the date of the sale, the year it sold, and what the value of the property is. Okay, so that's 23. This is 24. This is 25. So what this means is it looks like he did so much more. He's got lots going, but they don't get done. They get done in a 12-month period, but that's not necessarily January to December. So a lot of things flow into the next year. So he's got a lot here this is what's closed in 2025. You know it's closed because he's got the info here under the value. This is what he sold the properties for. He doesn't say what his profit is, which kind of bothers me. I want to know what his profit is because I want to know if he's actually making a profit, because why is he borrowing money if he's making a profit? Why isn't he putting that into his next deal? But then you look over it. So that was my first question to myself. So then I start looking over here. Here's other properties. Here's construction loans. So here's 5 more properties he's working on. He's got the loans on, so he's working on these. 5. He's got 5 going right now. But look at what he's got in his pipeline. He's got another 12 or 15 in the pipeline. And he's even got here, this last one. I don't know if you can see this or not. In the pipeline, he's looking for lenders. He's got all these listed that he's just getting started on, and he needs lenders. So he's hired some fella to teach people about being a lender on construction, and he gets paid a fee for it. So the guy has a background. We don't know who the guy is, unfortunately. I want to keep this. I want you to be able to see the whole page, though. Okay, well, this is life. So see here, it says lender. So he's got all these properties still looking for loans for. He's got all these properties. He's gotten what he does is he finds private people, you, me, everybody here who's got some money, $25,000, $60,000. He doesn't need a lot because it's Virginia. It's not California. It's not Florida. He can do things at a reasonable price. So he borrows the money to buy the lot so he can close. Normally, most lenders want that property to be free and clear of debt. But he doesn't have it that way. He puts the loan, these lenders are obviously open to, but that would be one of my questions. Are the lenders open to the lot being free and clear, or is he not recording until it's a second, until the construction loan comes in? That's a big thing for me. I want to know that his lenders will lend on a construction loan when there is a loan on the lot, because most lenders won't do that. Now, they could be private lenders and it's okay with them. But that would be on my checklist, Sarah. I want to know. It's important, because if he's not going to record, because if the lender won't allow a loan on the lot, that puts me at risk as a lender if I'm not going to get recorded until the construction loan comes in, because it takes a while to be able to get permits. I think he can get his permits really fast because he's not in LA, and he probably gets them in 3 or 4 months, or because he's using the same, if you look at the numbers, he's the style he's using, he's got 5 or 6 different styles he builds. He just resubmits it and they could rubber stamp it because he's doing so many things with the city or the county or they may not even require permits, who knows? He's doing all right for himself, frankly, and he's doing really nice for lenders as long as they're getting paid back. But how do we know that? Because we have to ask some questions. Any questions on this before I stop sharing?
I know the answer to some of these. I don't know if you wanted me to give my input or not?
I want you to look at the list and then give your input. Is that okay?
Okay.
Because we want people to learn and we want to know what they're putting on their list. Sarah, um, picking on you, Sarah. Okay. All right. So did anybody write anything on their list? Nobody wrote anything on their list?
Yes, I did.
Jill?
I asked, what's the profit return as the lender? Because if I'm going to borrow money, it doesn't say on there. And then when should I get my money back? Like after the sale?
Okay, it didn't say the profit that the lender gets. Which would be- so here's the question you ask. This is why you want the owner's name, phone number. You want to know what they're charging. So they might be getting 12%. You're getting 12%. Maybe they're getting 12%. It's construction loan. There's more questions to ask the lender than just that, but they'll tell you they're charging 8% or 7% or 10% or whatever. So you want to know that. And they have points that they're charging. Okay. So I put up the spreadsheet and I need to know if you could see it. You know how good I am at all this stuff. Can you see this spreadsheet?
No, Peggy.
It must be on a
Mm.
different screen. Now we see it.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay, great. Okay, so the first thing I have is security. Well, there is security, sort of. Here's the address of the property. We don't know who the lender is, and we don't know what the terms of the loan are. So we want to know that. Are we writing those questions down? If Caitlin is asking that question, what are the terms of the loan? My question is, I didn't write that down here, is who's paying? Is the lender giving the money to the contractor, or is the lender paying? The contractor has to bring in the receipts to get reimbursed. It's always reimbursed. It's not ahead. Maybe sometimes they'll give you a third of it up front, and then you show that you paid all of that and have all your receipts, and then you get the next portion. And then there's other lenders that say, nope, you have to pay for everything up front and we'll reimburse you. So that's another question to ask that I don't have here. So always talk to the lender. And once you talk to, and here's the thing, we like to say, oh, well, we've done this so many times. Do we need to keep doing it? Well, sometimes things happen to people and then they start doing other things they really ought not be doing. And really, you should follow your checklist, no matter what, no matter how many times you've worked with somebody. So here's the second is with another person. So how are they recording this loan to show that they're both in the same position? Like that, okay? And then am I getting proof of the recording? And somewhere in here I have said, oh, I didn't see a promissory note, nor did I see the trust deed. And I don't know if this is a trust deed state or a mortgage state. So a trust, for those who may not know, a trust deed state means that the lender can foreclose on the property and own the property. If it's a mortgage state, the owner has the right of redemption, which could be a year or more. So there are people who will not lend in states where it's a lien state. So you need to know that to protect yourself, because if you have to foreclose, Are you going to be able to foreclose, or are you going to have to wait a year before your foreclosure is complete? Terms, how will this be recorded? Again, I went over that earlier. There'll be no payments, but when they do close, you lent 20, for somebody who lent $25,000, they will get a total back of their $3,000 plus $3,750 plus a 4,500. It's 12 months. In the loan, it talks about renewables, but you have to see the promissory note to know how that works. And I didn't see the promissory note. So you need to either read the promissory note or write your own. He probably has a promissory note, but you need to read it. You might have AI read it for you to see what risks there are for you as a lender. And then again, the trust deed or mortgage. The extension, I didn't see one. Oh, and you as a lender, this is a balloon payment. You by law have to give notice, a 60-day notice. In California anyway, it's a 60-day notice to the lender that what they owe. So you've got to, that's something you need to remember. And the amount of the last payment. Well, if it were a payment program, usually the last payment's very different than all the rest of the payments. Cost to build, we've just figured that out, right? It was 162 square foot. Here's the one that you asked about, Katiana. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Caitlin, you asked what the bank interest in terms. Then I want to know what would cause a delay. I mean, they have hurricanes in there, they have rain. There's all kinds of things they have. If they were building the whole thing out of brick and built the outside first, they could work on the inside. Takes a long time to do brick though. And they're not doing brick. Then what would cause, again, what would cause a capital call? How much is the reserves or overrides? And then I want to see their underwriting on the construction. I'm sure he's got one that he's been using. And then here again, background. This guy looks well experienced, but we don't know who he is. We don't have his name. We don't have his address. We don't have anything about him. We only have the company and the property he's working on. So I want all of that. Google background check on the person or LinkedIn, interview with other investors. Have you talked to any investors that are still working with them and any investors who are not working with them? There's always people that stop working with an investor and it's always personal and you want to know why. And then does this make sense? And anything missing? Yes, lots of things missing for me. Not necessarily for you. So Jocelyn, you want to answer some of those questions? Oh, wait, there was one more. I forgot what that one more is. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I was writing down as you mentioned it. So you want me to go through the reds or?
Well, you said you had answers. So do you know who the
Yeah.
owner is?
So I have the name and phone number of one. So, well, I have both of their names. One of them, I don't have his phone number. So, and address. So I could definitely have to ask for that one. So, but I do have one of the owner's name. The question regarding the liens, whether I think the question was that what happens when they get the construction loan, does the lien has to be the property have to be free and clear. I mean, the land have to be free and clear. So I
Yeah.
think the way to mitigate that is that the landowner is the lien holder gets second position.
But
And
when?
the construction loan will get the first position.
Right, I got
So-
that.
Okay.
That I get, but are you allowed to be recorded on the property?
So what I ask is that I did not want to get second position to the construction because I'm new at and I don't want to do any second position yet, is that they either cash me out or I move my investment to another land where I can get first position.
The way he
So
works, you can't get a first position. No,
say that again.
you can't get first position. You
Oh,
cannot
yeah,
get, and he can't
what
buy you out at when he gets the construction loan unless he's got huge reserves.
Well, I mean, I don't think buyout maybe not the right term. So what's happening with this specific loan is that they actually already own this one land, and the investor, and I now have a question to ask them, why is this investor not going, into the second year? Because once the second year starts, then they need to cash out this investor to they need to pay off
Right.
this investor.
He won't renew the loan.
Right.
Oh, so he had built that right in. I don't
Yeah.
know why that's built right in. Are you willing, and why? So my question on that would be, if I'm doing construction and it
Mhm.
takes you longer than a year, why am I not there for the whole time? And I'm getting bought out at the sale.
Well, you can't be there the whole time, but you can't be at first position. And
No, you cannot get first position.
yeah,
Then this is not the deal for you. You cannot go into a construction. You cannot
right.
go into, unless you're bringing in all the money, including the construction. The other thing
Right.
I don't see, and because I haven't seen the promissory note, is how many points are you charging?
I haven't seen it either. I didn't think to ask for it up front. Okay.
That's what I didn't write down is
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
You charge points when you do loans
Mm-hmm.
because normally you do the paperwork. So have you seen the promissory note?
I have not.
Well, I would say yes. I would not say yes to anything until I've read the promissory note, which I may rewrite, and the trust deed. So I know whether I'm getting a trust deed or a mortgage. So
Mhm.
you need to look up, is this a trust deed state
Mhm.
or is this a mortgage state? Because you are at high risk if it's if it's
Okay.
a mortgage state, right? And then did you run a background check on these people, on this company and these people? And have you talked to any lenders?
For the guy. Mhm. Yeah, for the guy that I know, I did run on him. Google search, of course, but not for the other guy. So I need to do that. But what I didn't think to do also until this conversation is the construction loan, to look more into the construction loan. What's the term? Because to me, I was thinking that I would not go second position to the construction loan. I would either, exit after the year before they get the construction loan or move to another land deal. So I didn't even think to ask them about the construction loan, but now I do understand, even if I would not do that, I still need to learn about the construction loan, about how do they get paid, and
They don't
also,
pay you.
is it a fixed interest rate? If it's is it a fixed interest rate construction loan? So
They
yeah.
usually are, but that's a question to ask. Usually it's if they're
Yeah.
working with a regular bank, if he's working with private lenders, it might be 12%, which is real squeeze. So he doesn't build a house in a year.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take him to
Okay.
build?
So who's the lender? Is it a
How
bank
long does
or
it take him to
yeah?
get the permits? Because you have to, so here's
Uh,
what I'm
Wait a
hearing
minute.
from,
Can I ask a question while we're still on that topic before you ask the question?
sure.
So she was saying that she would move. So right now she's in second position, but she's willing to move to another property to be in first position. When would she get paid when she moved? Would she get any type of money from that property, or would she have to wait till the second house is built?
No, I am not
Good question.
on any position, but I would be on. This is for a first position lien.
She doesn't
So
want to be
it
in
starts
second
as a first
place.
position.
So she might just move to another property, but all they'll do is transfer her. They will not give her any money because she's
So
not.
then it would extend how long her money is held up in this company without a payout. Okay.
Right. And they gave that money away, so now they're gonna move her to another property, but they don't have the money to pay the person. So they're just collateralizing her differently. But I understand you don't want to be in second position. Most people don't want to be in second position. You're not experienced enough to do a foreclosure. But still, I would complete my investigation on this. You're not charging any points, which you could be charging, which makes you a sophisticated lender, because I know no lenders that don't charge points.
I didn't even think to charge points.
Yeah, you charge a point. You get what? $25?
Yeah.
Say $100, but normally you get paid points because you do all the documentation. You're the lender. You're the one that has to issue a 1099 at the end of the year. I should
Okay.
write that down on here.
Yeah. So they say that they have a title company already that they typically work with. Is it typical for me to go with their title company, or should I be looking for my own title company?
No, you don't need it. No, they're responsible for the title and all of that, not you. You're not buying the property,
Okay.
you're the lender. So you're going to be recorded against the property. That's how you secure your position of title.
Mhm.
So when you're in
Yes.
first place, you have the right to foreclose. Well, if you're in second place, you still have the right to foreclose, but you have to make the payments on the first. But
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of questions to ask the construction company. Like,
Mhm.
what are the terms? Who's paying the guys for doing the work, guys and gals for doing the work? When's it due? And here's the other, which I didn't actually realize the way this was written, is it sounds like he closes on the property before he gets his permits. He should not be closing on the property until he has his permits.
Yes, he does close on them before he gets the permit because part of the amount of the loan includes cost of the permits and maintaining the land, whatever they need to do to the land to get it prepared for
So he
build.
uses the money. So he uses the money to pay off the owner and to go get permits.
Yeah.
And he can get that for $60,000.
Well, I would actually think the original cost was less because
Yep.
this one is already owned. From my understanding, the normal cost, like if I were to come before, like at the time they buying the land, it would be about $40,000. That's
$40,000 for the land.
for the land and the cost they need to maintain, get the land ready for building.
You don't have to get well, that's all construction loan.
So
I'm the
it seems to
seller.
be by the time they get to the construction loan, they already have all the permits.
Of course, you
Yeah.
can't get your construction loan without permits, but you don't do anything on the land until you have your permits. Because one of the permits is fixing the foundation of the land, whatever you have to do to make it in California earthquake proof, but they're tornado, hurricane proof.
Mhm.
They don't do anything until they have a permit. They need a permit to clear the place. They need a permit to take things down. They need a permit to bring in the trash can. Like they need permits for everything.
Yeah. And
So-
as you mentioned, they say that because they use the same template, they typically it's typically faster getting permits because
But how long does it take? Because how long does it take to get the permits?
I didn't specifically ask.
Ask. That's why you're here. What questions should you be asking? This is
Yep, I'm writing them down.
because here's the thing. He pays off he pays off the seller and uses your money to get the permits, which is why
Yeah.
he pays off the seller. Otherwise, he wouldn't do that. If he were taking you in as a partner, it would be totally different. He could take your money and use it without closing. But how long does it take to get the permits? You're in first position until he gets permits. Is that 4 months? Is that a year? If it were California, it'd be maybe 3 years, maybe 4. It's insane.
Yeah. It's the whole process from the time that it takes 12 months from the time they buy the land to get ready for the construction loan. And then after that 12 months, they start the construction, which is another year. So that's why it's usually like a 2-year project.
Oh, so why aren't you willing to lend your money for 2 years at 12%?
Well, because on the second year, I have to be a second position, and
I got
I
that.
wasn't ready for that.
I got that. That's
Yeah.
understandable. And this is a really good reason and a great question to talk to current investors, current lenders, and past lenders.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And I want also to know what happened to the person that was holding the loan before. Why do they have to pay them off? And so that's a good
Well,
question.
because that's the way they construct it. They construct it with a 12-month loan instead of a 24-month loan.
Right, yeah.
Or they really should do a 30-month loan. If it takes them 2 years because if something happens, they need extra time. So I'd do a 2.5-year loan. But that's just me. I like to take everything in. But I would, before I made that decision about being in second place, I would talk to some of the people who have been lenders. I want to talk to somebody who's currently a lender and somebody who's no longer a lender. I want to interview them to ask those couple of questions. Why do you stay with them? Well, I get 12% a year and it goes really easily. All I do is I give them my money and in a month, 12 months later, I get my money back. No, like
Yeah, so
no
I
cash
think
flow.
maybe the guy that the consultant, he may be using your playbook because he said he already had 3 loans with these people, so that's probably why he's not doing anymore. So maybe he's using your
3.
playbook.
Okay, but okay. So he says he's got 3, so that's his thing. That would be my thing, right? 3.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ask him,
What
but
are 3?
yeah.
Yet he's raising, so he still has confidence in the group. But I would want it. All right, so he's staying with him because he's got that, and when he gets paid off, he could go back and do another loan with him because he got paid off. So he only has 2. He could do 1 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's his limit. What about somebody that's no longer working with him? But
Right,
he didn't say he got paid off on any of them, right? He says he's
right,
got 3 now.
right.
How long's he had them?
I don't know.
Yeah, those are questions to ask, right? We need your
Yeah.
interview questions.
Yep.
What else do we need to know that we don't already know that you have?
Peggy, can I ask a question?
Absolutely. That's
he
what
could
we're doing.
so he could say, "Oh, I've got 3 loans." So I would probably go check to see that he has loans, like do a search to see if that actually exists, or he's just
Yeah.
BSing me. And then the other thing that this came up before when you said that they've only been in business for 3 years. I know so many construction companies that, just like you were saying back on the commercial project, that they change their name over and over again when they get sued or when somebody gets mad at them for going sideways. And so I would check these people's employment history or their, like, see if you can find other stuff to see if this is another, like them reinventing themselves in a different way to make
Yeah,
sure they're not hiding from some things.
which is why
Yeah,
you
but
do a background check.
they claim
What,
that
excuse
they
me,
were.
what about their credit? Because remember, Peggy, the deal that I was about to go on, I found out that person had, they owed people money because that's why they were trying to raise money to pay someone else back.
These guys owe lots of money.
So that's why I'm wondering, like, could you find that out? Because who's to say that you actually might get paid? They can go do bankruptcy and you just lost your money.
Well, yeah, right. They've got like 20, 25 deals in the pipeline. So
But
that's,
none of them shows that they actually showed the profit. So all of the ones that you just showed, there was no profit showing. So at
and
this
that's,
point, yeah, they have 25 deals, but where was the profit before?
yeah, it doesn't show profit. I want to see profit. I don't know that he made any profit because he doesn't show what it costs to do the whole deal. He's showing on this one, but he's not showing on all of them, which to me, if you want somebody to come and, these are the questions you do not want people asking you because it takes a lot of your time. So put it on your spreadsheet, right? This is the loan. This is a private loan. This is a construction loan. This is the profit they got. This is a profit that was made. This is the return to the investor. Yes, it's a little extra math. Maybe they have somebody in the office that could handle that. But yeah, I think that's really important. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. And I would hire, if I would either find a company that you could just run a background check on, because that will show if they've been in business and they've changed their name, because you want to do it on the individuals and the company. Or I would hire a detective. There's private detectives. They'll do the run. It's important. I am telling you this because we have a deal that's SEC has come into, and we did not do that. We trusted the people that brought it to us because they were a family office and they were heavily invested with them. That's not a reason to not run a background check. You've got to run background checks. You've got to protect yourself because as much as they think they're protecting you, they're taking care of themselves. Questions?
Mhm.
And you've got all these addresses. You can go Google all these addresses and make sure that the properties are still really there. And they're working with a title company.
Right,
Could-
and the
under
sale
the
records because they should.
Excuse me? Jocelyn, you were saying?
The sale record that we could verify that they actually sold, at the time that they say they sold them.
And the price that they sold it.
Yeah.
And that's public record too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at the tax roll.
Yep.
And
Can another thing could you find out any information on, so you know how some people throw up these houses and then like they don't like they pretty much did not put the money into the house. Like you could tell once you do a walkthrough. Is there any way you could contact and at least see, or even if some of these houses haven't got sold, maybe you can even have someone do a walkthrough just to see, are they investing all the money into the build or are they cutting corners so they could put more money in their pocket?
how would you be able to tell?
I'm asking Kim, like, so that guy, let's say he had, I don't remember how many, but say he had 7 houses and 2 of them are already waiting to be sold. Could we go look at them? Because then we would know if he's actually putting his
Quality.
money, the quality of the house, because I wouldn't want to give over 20,000 and he only actually put $10,000 into this house, but he said that it was going to be built. I mean, all the money went into this house because you can make up receipts.
You can make up receipts, but the receipts need to have all the subcontractors on it.
Okay.
Yes. A shortcut on that would be when you're doing that investigation with the title company. Well, you could pull up those addresses and find out who the agent was that sold the property and ask the agent about the property. And then if you see any that are still available, you could ask the agent, what kind of quality do they do? Because 300,000 in that area or 400, it's got to have a higher quality finishes and refrigerator, I don't know, they put a refrigerator in, but all your kitchen and bathroom should all be upgraded. He's paying 162 a square foot, so it should be better, but you're right, he could only be doing 150, but at some point, people get caught at scamming. So if he's paying 162, that's all the construction company's lender's gonna give him. And he has to have reserves built in. It's a great question, great background to do. I love that, Caitlin. Any questions? Thoughts?
I have one more question that's in my mind. I know right now that a lot of construction, it's hard to find because of what's happened in our country, that it's hard to find workers. So with stuff like that, is that like how could you mitigate that risk of, or what would you do to mitigate that risk, knowing, because that would actually mean that it's going to be a longer build process. So just curious what your thoughts.
Well, use legal people.
Yeah. Well, I always do that, but other people choose different. Is that something that you could put into the contract, that they have to be with the loan or not?
Well, it just means you might not not be the lender,
Hmm.
or they lie. But you could ask that question, because most builders use subcontractors. And how they build, and so what they're doing, they do 10, let's say 10 properties they have under construction. They have it timed. So the guys that come in and clean up the lot, move from this lot to the next lot, to the next lot, to the next lot. And right behind them are the guys that put in the foundation. And right behind them are the guys that put in the framing. And right behind them is the electrical and the sewer and the sewer's probably already in, and the plumbing and everything, like all of that. So that they just move from house to house to house to house. So they stay employed. And you have each group, right? You have your electrical group's different than your plumbing group, that's different than your framing group, that's different than your wallboard people, because the wallboard has to go in and then they have to make it nice so you don't see that line in between. Your painters are different. They come in and spray everything. You've got your windows. Everybody's different, right? But you have your contractors set up, and you might have enough deals where you have 2 sets or 3 sets. Like, that's really, really important. But those are questions to ask. Those are questions to ask with what's going on in the country right now. Do you have a concern about your construction staff? I would be asking that right now. We are having major problems, particularly in California, where we need people to take care of our harvests, and we're in harvest season right now. And usually they bring people up from Mexico and bring them in for 3 or 4 months to do the work. And they come straight across the border, or they go home every night, or whatever they do. But they get hired out of Mexico to come do the work because they work. And the people that are in construction, they work. So Jocelyn, be sure to ask that question. You got to know there's a delay, right? That could be a major delay in your getting paid back.
Mhm.
So do you have enough questions to ask now, Jocelyn?
I've written down 18, so
18, all right. And here's another question that most people don't ask. What question should I be asking you? I sound silly, but they know what question you should be asking. So you have to call them and say, who's your lender going to be on this house? I want to have a conversation with them before I make my decision about being in second place. And they should give it to you. And then you're going to ask them, are you making a loan on whatever it is? And how many have you done in the past? And what do you know about these people in their past? Because they've only been in the businesses 2022 or 2023. And then you could also go back to the planning department and see if you could find out if they were under a different name. And you can do all this on the phone or online. And then don't forget about your real estate agent, asking that whoever the buyer's agent is, because they're the ones that take care of the buyer, right? They all want to know what the quality of all the finishings are. Anything else? No questions? Sarah, you're very quiet. And this, Sarah,
I'm typing.
okay, this is something you might, not this particular thing, but if you're looking for cash flow or for short-term loans, you might consider being a lender and working with flippers, particularly in your area where you are. I think that there are probably a lot of flippers. You need to do your due diligence.
You think there's a lot of flippers in Costa Rica?
I think there's several. I know
Okay.
in Puerto Rico, there's quite a few. Lots of people going in and doing new construction and all kinds of things. Costa Rica,
Okay.
I don't know so much. I like Costa Rica though. So it's just to consider, before you invest in anything, everyone, you need to look at what's out there and what works best for you. So Katiana, part of what you met, Katiana, Caitlin, I apologize, Caitlin, is looking at everything before you start putting your money in anything. There are so many opportunities out there. And it depends, do you want growth or do you want cash flow? And you have to, when you're young, like Caitlin's very, very young, she's can be in tons and tons of growth, which being the lender and getting 12%, that's growth. Because she doesn't get any cash flow on that. She could be looking at other things that are paying that or more and not getting any money back because she's into the growth because she's so young. She could do that. But when you start hitting the higher numbers, then you need to start being super cautious. The reason that a young person can take the higher risk is because they have the amount of time to make up the difference. Whereas when we get closer to the end of that toilet paper roll, we don't have time to make up the difference. We just don't. And most of us don't want to, so. Okay.
Peggy, I have a question, you're having said this, it's like, so Caitlin, I guess, is in her 20s, and so she's got more time to replace any losses. But let's say she just is a miracle worker in investing and ends up with a lot of extra cash. Does then do you then take that cash and put it into things that are less with less risk, or do you just keep piling it into more like do you have a scale, like on a scale of 1 to 10, being in a CD is one, there's like no risk? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you don't give how you feel about that. But how do you measure along the risk scale what different investments are? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, and the only way to answer that is all very individual. What kind of risk are you willing to take? If you're not willing to take, so there are people who are willing to take no risk whatsoever, and their
Right.
money, we'll just call it sitting under a mattress. So they put their $100,000 under the mattress, and 10 years later, when they pull it out, it's only worth $20. because they didn't make it work. They didn't make it grow. So, but that's just the way they are because they're so scared because they never got educated.
Right,
They never learned about the basics of money.
right. So one would be someone putting money under a mattress, low risk. What would be like a 5-level risk?
That is, by the way, that is the highest risk you could be in. The
Oh,
highest
oh,
risk you could be in is to
oh,
do nothing.
right,
Because
right, because you lose your
broke,
automatic.
yeah, you're now broke and in the poorhouse and you outlived your money. That's
Yeah,
the highest risk you could be. Being broke sucks.
yeah,
Yeah, it does. People are so afraid because they don't know where to get the education and they don't know how to make the decision and they don't put
right,
a team together to help them make those decisions. So a CD,
right.
so if you put your money in a savings account and you want it to double, it'll take 72 years for your money
Yeah,
to double in a bank account at 1%. At 3.5%, it'll take less time, but you'll still be probably, past retirement collecting your Social Security. And with the inflation rate is at 3%, supposedly,
yeah,
right? Supposedly, all you do is break even. That doesn't keep you ahead.
yeah,
You to stay ahead, it's got to be risk.
right. Yeah, if you're at
Yes.
3%, it takes 24 years to
24 years to double.
yeah, to
Right.
double.
And at 15%, it takes about 4.5 or 5, 6, 10%.
Yeah, it's about
So then you
5%.
start looking at
Five,
that. Okay,
5 years.
actually, when you're looking at 8 and 9 and 10%, really that's not that high a risk, truly, because that's basically what the market basically bears. It's when you're looking at higher, like 20 or 30%, now you're in really high risk. You've really got to be careful.
Okay.
The whole thing is based on what is your I call it a 5-year plan. It could be a 50-year plan or a 30-year plan. What is your 5-year plan? Where do you expect to be? And yeah, you need money. Now, you live in a different country and I don't know what the cost of living is there. I live in California. I need the $3 to $5 million sitting in an account, right?
Right.
Because I live in California. I pay $5 for $4 to $5 a gallon for gas. I like to, I don't eat that much, but I still eat. I like to go out and eat because I don't like to cook. So that costs even more.
Yeah.
It's things like that and driving and how you live your life, you know. One day I'll be in
Right.
Uber because I looked when I crashed my last car, I looked at should I just start using Uber or should I buy a car? So I looked at what it costs to buy a used car and I looked at what it costs to use Uber for a year. So I bought a car just because of how many miles I put on the car, right? That's what you have to look at. So
That makes sense.
you analyze everything, checklist for everything.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, and we actually have a checklist. Most of them are in our heads for whatever we plan to do, whether we are going to go out shopping and buy a dress, or we've got a party coming up, or going to take a trip. No, you have your checklist for. Now, one of the things on my travel checklist is, and I didn't even realize this, when you leave our country, you can't get a washcloth when you're staying at a hotel or on a boat or anything. America seems to be the only place that has washcloths. I like to have a face cloth to wash my face at night. So I have to carry my washcloths with me. But look, you do your due diligence for everything. I know that seems like a silly comparison, but we actually don't do anything without really thinking about it. I think, possibly, at least the more educated people. So I'll be happy to have a conversation with you, Sarah, because you need to have a plan. We all need to have a plan. And that's why I'm here. I've been planning for years, and when you have a loss, you have to make up for it, and it sets back your plan. But the whole idea of when you get a setback is that you've left yourself in a position where you could still invest and make up the difference. Just takes a little long time to get where you were going to go, like that. And that's why we're here. We all have to make plans. Have to. Maybe we don't have to. Well, that's, my thing with Americans don't have plans because they didn't know. Nobody teaches them. We didn't come through schools with teachers saying, oh, you have to have a plan for your future. Nope. Write this sentence out 10 times. Spell this word 20 times, right? Follow the instructions. Do what you're told. We want you to be good employees. And then here we are, the 7 of us rebellions. Okay. So how long a break do you need till we go into the next one, which is business? And we will be done early today because we have so few people here. Do you all need to go eat something? Like, do you want a 20-minute or a 30-minute break? Or Sarah say yes?
I to make lunch for my husband, so I'd love a 30-minute break. So
Okay. All right.
That's-
So 30 minutes is 11:40, 12:10. So 12:10, let's be back at 12:10, please. Get something to eat, and then it'll probably take us another hour to hour and a half to get through the business. Okay.
Okay,
And-
perfect.
And then I'm open for questions, and we could go, and if any of you want to leave, well, I'll give you my gifts, and then if people want to stay and chit chat and talk about other things, I'm happy to stay on to do that. I've left the day open for this. But we had expected 20 people to show up today. And as you see, 7 people are committed to this, and it just makes it's actually good because we could get done earlier. Because I know it's exhausting to think all this thinking. Like that. Okay, so well, I just talked for another minute, so we'll get back at 12:15 Pacific time. Okay? Is that good for you, Sarah?
yeah, no, I really appreciate that. That's
Sure. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're so happy you're here. We are now going to go into a business and look at a business. And I need to make sure you can see this screen. Can you see this screen, Michelle?
I just see you.
Of course.
Big as life and twice as natural.
I don't know why it won't share. Because I didn't hit the share button. Weird. Okay. Here we are. You can all see this, right?
Yes, we're
Yes.
seeing it.
Okay, good. So this is a company that is raising money.
Actually, now we don't see it. I think
yeah,
you
there's
just
not-
popped it off onto the other screen.
And I'll pop
There we
it
do.
up.
There you go.
Now we see it.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be on screen 2 because screen 1's too little. Okay, here is a company, they are raising capital. I asked him to send me so I could vet this out, and this is what they sent me. Now, keep in mind, all the other two, keep in mind that the lender checklist and the real estate checklist while you're looking at this. So you know a lot of questions to be looking for. This is a business. So do you know what the difference between a business and a real estate investment are? If that was the correct sentence. Nathan, you're a business guru. Nathan,
That comes to my mind is you're dealing with more employees on the business side of things.
okay. What about partners?
Yeah.
Do you normally have partners in a business?
I do. But there are a lot of businesses that don't.
Okay. And what about security?
So, I mean, there's definitely more volatility, I would say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is a beauty facial, right? Facial. I don't know what this hydro diamond is. It looks like lunch to me, but that's because it's so small. But it's probably showing the yeah, I get it. Showing the different faces. I don't know if it's before or after, because that's all they show. They're saying it's $150 billion business industry. That's retail, mind you, okay? So understand the difference between wholesale and retail. Manufacturing, so they're manufacturing something, and then they're going to retail, they're either going to have their own spas or they're going to sell it to other spas. I sent a bunch of questions on this and didn't get answers yet. So it's facial service space. And I don't know what lacks brands and standardization means. That's the problem. Well, the problem is facial services space lack brands and standardization. Well, that's right. We just go see a facialist, right? And they give us whatever they give us to clean our skin and beautify it. It doesn't have a brand. We designed the facial operating platform for the most in-demand facials, extractions, lifting, peeling. So those are the most in-demand facials. I don't know, gentlemen, do you get facials?
No,
No. Nathan? You
No.
ever had a facial?
No.
No? Ladies, anybody had a facial? Anybody not had a facial? All right. Yep. So here we are. 100% of the women get facials, none of the men. That's what they call lies, damn lies, and statistics. Right. Oh, 2 men and 5 women, and there we are. Okay, so they have a smart device that they've got. They're centralizing their market. They have a system, a CRM, which we all have, right, with all of our database in it, to drive retention and upsell and lock in. And then they have a client app. So we need to learn about these different things in this business. So here's this again, talking about healthy and all of that, but let's talk about the business. So it's a growing market. Well, yeah, there's more people. And as people get older, men, they start looking at having their skin taken care of and reducing wrinkles and things like that. So it's a growing business. So here's the competitive position. Why is this important? Because who's your competition, right? You've got Nathan, who's investing in commercial insurance companies. And who's their competition? State Farm could be one of their competitions. Or Mercury could be a competition, or anyone who's doing insurance could be a competitor. So you need to know what your competitors are doing so that you can do either something different or better. So they're talking about what they charge. which is nothing up front for the device. And then they train you how to use the device. And they go through all the steps. And how they grow is with their CRM, with their platform. And then when the client comes in to use the product, they're getting somewhere between $150 and $350 per facial. So it sounds to me like, because I'm not clear on this, they give the product to people who have a company that are running facials. It doesn't sound like they're running their own companies. So this is a question to ask, right? And their takeout is 15% per treatment. So they get $30 per treatment. And they lock you in because you can't find this device anywhere else. So you have to keep coming back to them, which is smart. Yeah. You want to make sure people come back. That's how you make money. You don't make money on the first time somebody comes. You make money on the second, third, fourth time. Now you've broken even. Now it's all cash flow because now your device is paid off and you've got money coming in. And you just have your overhead on the space you're leasing. So they sell a device plus the expensive consumables and very little. So the consumables are if you want to buy the products to take home and use to keep your face beautiful and youthing, as I like to put it. So they say they win on the software, plus the data, plus the comfort, and they don't have consumables. And here's their go-to-market strategy: leverage the micro influencers, and then they have the educational events. They're saying this is an $18 million revenue in business-to-business sales. Well, that's nice, but they said it was $150 billion industry. So where's that $150 billion industry or million? They have offices in Europe, US, but I don't see. I've been through this and I didn't see these the first time. I sent them a bunch of questions, but I haven't heard back. So they're telling you their milestones, what they did in 22, 3, 4, and this year. So they're in a pilot right now. So it's a startup company. It's been in business for 4 years, but it's still startup. And they're showing what they believe the revenue will be and the revenue channels. So their channels are, can you all see this? I have to put my glasses on. They have, so they're going from 2025 to 2028. They think by 2028, they'll be at $132 million. 2027, that's only 2 years away. They think they'll be at $38 million. And next year, they believe they'll be at $5.5 million. So they already know in 2025, they're only at 46,600. To me, that looks like a leap. How can you go from 46,800 to 5 million, 5.5 million? You'd have to have a lot of product already out there. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So I buy one of these, and every facial I do, I pay these people $30. That's a lot of $30 to get to 5 million. And then here's the team. Constantine is the founder and CEO. He's the person that gave me this to look at. And what I found in this, and he's also a founder. I don't think I met Michael.
Peggy, can you go back? Oh, is it going to go through each person on the team? Can you go back to the team? Yeah, right there, right there.
Uh-huh.
Can we just take a moment to read this?
Yeah, so we have these are all co-founders. The top row are co-founders. Roman Gotts. He's an engineering leader with deep experience in whatever something powered devices and scalable manufacturing. Olha leads product development, which you need, treatment protocols, and educational programs.
Hmm.
So he does the creation of the product. She does most of the work. And Nikita is in charge of getting leads, and Joseph is in charge of building scalable systems. So
Based
that's
off the team, it looks like they have no one who actually knows about skincare.
That's exactly what I thought.
I love it.
Like I would be out just off of that. Like where's the scientist who knows about skincare? Where's the person who actually knows about skincare? No one knows
Maybe
about
he did-
skincare.
maybe he did that they made the assumption because they developed the product already. And you're right. There's nobody here that specifically says they know about skincare. She
I would
leads
assume that,
product
yeah.
development, so you might make the assumption that Oha is
Mhm.
she knows about skincare and
So she's
treatment
one.
protocols.
No, I need like what is it, esthetician or a doctor? I need that in the back
Well,
of her name.
But they're okay.
I
Just
totally
because you're
agree.
down dealing with health, you're dealing with face, it's like dealing with food or dealing with something you put on your skin. Yeah, you can develop a great product, but
How do you know it works?
and that's the thing, like some of the stuff that they said earlier, there's no doctor, like even if they had like a Dr. Scholl's, I mean, I never even know of a Dr. Scholl's, but because it had a doctor, you're like, okay, I could go by with Dr. Scholl's. Like, I can't trust it.
Okay. Well, let's just see if they have anything here.
Can I say something too about them? Just reading their things, I immediately thought, are these guys Eastern European? And are they even located in the United States?
Well, you saw that it's also Europe. So they are located in the US. I'll go back to that page. Platform take revenue potential demand signal. 20 million women receive facials. Okay.
And are they FDA approved? Because I have a home facial thing that I use. And I mean, even though the FDA is like, it's whatever, but it still makes you feel good to be putting something on your skin that's FDA approved.
I don't know if there's a particular product that goes
Yeah,
with
but
this. So we go into that.
I don't think this is for home use. But you're right. They
No.
should have some kind of certification or approval for sure.
Well, they're selling it to spas.
Yeah.
The esthetician in the spa would be the one doing this. That's where the
That's-
esthetician comes in, but how do they know that it's right for the esthetician? So I love that point. It's a great point.
Right.
So they have they're raising a seed round of $2 million that they don't really say what onboard 700 providers with 1 year and reach 3.2 million annual recurring. They don't say anything about how much they raised before. Here's your regulatory. It is FDA, registered with FDA as a class medical device. Devices operate without non-invasive, fully will be assigned with the aesthetics to this company. Here's the trademark, design patents, they've got those. So it doesn't say it's FDA approved, it just says it's registered with the FDA. So
Which
I-
means
Okay.
it's probably under review. The other thing I know, because I've actually invested in other things,
Yeah.
class 1 is the lowest. It's like the base level class. It's not one of the higher level classes. So something I would ask them questions about.
Oh,
And they
class
still can
one.
get denied because
Yeah.
as a person, my jewelry, I was patent pending and I'm still pending patent 2 years later. So like, I mean, you get denied, but you can repeal it, but doesn't mean they're going to get approved. And until they get approved, no esthetician is going to use that.
Ah,
Or should be using it.
So that's why their sales are so low because they haven't been approved yet. Are you?
but they are using the product. Here's their before and after pictures. So they are using it. And they could say they could use it because they've got it registered with FDA.
Do they have any independent studies for these before and afters or
Are you writing these on your checklist?
yes.
We anticipate offering early investors optional liquidity. Doesn't say, it says they want $2 million, but it doesn't say what their minimums are. They don't show any projections for cash flow or return that I could see.
I'd also like to ask them, that's nice. I can actually throw any numbers up there. Like, what is it that's going to make these numbers grow? Because right now, going from like $4,300 to even like a $500,000, why?
43,000.
Yeah,
But
43,000. Sorry.
it's all right. It'll be harder from 4,300 though.
Yes.
But at $30,
Yeah.
Did you
They
go
get-
back to their offerings? Because it looked like that they might have had an app. And if they have an app, then that would make sense why they might be projecting themselves, because an app they could then that client's app, you would be paying a monthly fee to them. So right now you're only paying $30 per, like, if I use the device as a facial. But
Right.
if you have their CRM, you probably are going to have to pay them a monthly CRM
then
to
why
hold
did they
it.
put that there?
And then you would probably have to pay like a monthly subscription to their app.
But they didn't say anything about that.
No, that would be my question, but that would be how they got that number, because I was like, I was waiting for the app part because that was the more interesting part to me.
Right, and here it says it's 150 billion. That's what they're saying this, they're already, not them, but the world is spending $150 billion on facials. But their
I wonder if
numbers,
that's the beauty industry.
well, the beauty industry is expensive.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
So for this one here, I
So they
also
think they're gonna
wonder,
do $18 million in revenue in 2024. And
but
they've
I
got
I
43.
wonder if this 18 million, is it the revenues after that they get from the clients, or is it in facials that their client did?
Who's asking that, Jocelyn?
Yeah.
This is B2B, means business to
Business to
business.
business.
Okay.
I'm wondering
Okay.
if they're selling CRM stuff at the back end because they keep talking about the CRM.
Well, that's what I think was Caitlin brought that up. When we were talking about the client app, how they're retaining, they have a CRM system. My bet is, see, again, we're betting, we don't know, that the client, which is we'll say the esthetician, is grabbing the information because they have to pay the $30 back here. These people are doing the retention. So they're sending all kinds of information out to your client, let's say, Lachelle, you're the esthetician. So you have to pay a fee here, a retention fee, so that you can stay, and they're doing the marketing for you. And every time a person comes in, you pay $30 for them.
And that's a good point. They also say that this is one of the reasons that they believe people will stay with them, because they holding this information. It's like we're holding their clientele information, hostage, so they can't leave us because, we're housing the data. So it's a good point about the app that they will use that to monetize that information.
Right, and Caitlin thinks that they're gonna charge for this,
Yeah.
which of course, wouldn't they? Because they're saying, look, we're going to do all the retention to keep your customer coming back to you. So you're gonna give us that information. We're gonna send out all the systems to them, so they'll keep coming back, so they get a facial every month or every quarter or whatever, like that.
So I'm just thinking too, because
18
I've had
million?
facials in various different places across the world. I've had crappy facials and I've had good facials. And
Uh-huh.
so it's funny because I'm reading the smart device, it standardizes the most in-demand facials. I don't want necessarily to have some computer doing my facial necessarily with someone who's may not be trained. So it's funny, I'm looking at like it's their operating system. I don't really know what their business is. Is it that you're marketing and taking all my customers? Are you doing the facials? It's really confusing.
They're actually doing that right now. I just watched it on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. They are doing it with what's it called? Where the hair removal. The hair removal
Oh yeah.
stuff. Or these boutique the boutique like health clinics, they're not operated by a professional like you just said. People don't know, and they have like a doctor. Like, so say if I wanted to open one in California, I could have you, who's a doctor in Florida, and you would be in charge of my thing. But if something happened to my client, that's no, like, there's nothing. People have died. Like, watch the John Oliver thing talking about that.
Yeah, they're called med spas, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and then I think too about the doctor who's signing up for something like that. It's probably pretty sketch in the first place and a little bit lazy and money. But that's my own opinion.
So they have a doctor on call?
Yes.
Okay, and the doctor is there, or the doctor is
No, no,
on call?
no, nowhere near. It's so
Okay,
sketchy.
retention, right, so they're paying him a retention fee, like you pay a lawyer. Okay, and then they come in when necessary, or the
Yes.
person goes to see them.
No, 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 no. So what happens is, like, say if I wanted to buy this device, because it doesn't say that I have to actually have a license to buy it. So I would buy it. And I would be like, all right, Peggy, I got this device. Let me do your facial. I do your facial. And you're like, hey, do you have a doctor? I'm like, yeah, I have a doctor. They're on call, but my doctor is in Florida. So if anything happened to you right now, I would have to rush you to the hospital, but they would be like, "Oh, where's your doctor?" And hopefully he gets there in time before you die.
From Florida?
Yes. It's so sketchy. There's people who actually are like watch the whole John Oliver thing. He literally went in a great detail for like 2.5 hours, but maybe an hour and a half, but it was in great detail on how the med spas are hiring doctors that's 2 hours, 4 hours. They're just not in the area.
Peggy, they only mentioned one source of revenue. I'm not sure where it comes from. $30. What is the $30 for? It's not clear to me.
Oh, okay, so Tom, you buy one, you are an esthetician, you work in your spa, and you buy one of these machines. I make an appointment with you and you do my facial. Now you pay this company $30.
Okay, and what do I charge you for doing the facial?
Between $100 and $150.
Okay, and the initial equipment does not cost me anything.
Exactly.
They give that away free, so their revenue is going to come in through facials through different clinics that, or whatever you call these things,
Right.
and they're gonna get 30 bucks. So, but that's their source of income, right? They didn't mention any other source of income.
That's the way it looks to us.
Okay, so they're gonna give you 30 bucks, and what they're gonna give you is this device. They're gonna give you central marketing, they're gonna give you the CRM system, and they're gonna give you a client app because they didn't say they charge for any of that. That's just their product. So to pay for that, they're gonna get 30 bucks on the facial. So they're totally dependent on these independent outlets who give facials for their $30 a client on those clients that use their equipment.
All right, it's only 600,000 facials you have to give. To get
Yeah,
to the
and
18,
they
that's
they
that's
they
this
go from
year for $18 million revenue.
what's that?
They said that the revenue this year is $18 million.
Is that a projection or that's what they made?
Right here, $18 million revenue in B2B sales in 2024. That's last year.
Okay, so they did do that. That they have a record, they have a track record of 18 million.
I don't see a track record.
Well, I thought you just said they got made 18 million in
And that's what
2020.
that says.
Huh?
That is what that page says.
Okay, so what, how do I interpret that page? Is that what they made or is that what they're projecting to make?
It
That's
doesn't
2000.
say.
Huh?
It says that's what their revenue in 2024. I guess that would be what it was.
Well, what was this other number that you said of 46,000 or whatever it was? 46.
600,000 facials at $30 a facial.
Yeah, I got that. But before you were talking and you said in 2025 they had like $46,000 of revenue. I'm confused here.
You ought to be.
You
Yeah.
should. We
What,
need
what's the
financial statements for sure.
what's the 46,000 represent?
That was what they did in 2024, from what I could figure
You
out.
just said they did 16 million
No, it says 18
or
million.
18 million.
This is why we do a checklist.
But I'm confused. There's 18 million and there's 46,000. What number are we working with?
That's a question to ask.
Oh,
I'm looking for that page. Where'd that page go?
Tom, what I suspect that this is also an assumption, so that means I need to ask more questions, is that up until that one page where it says the 18 million in revenue, I thought they were a startup. So I suspect that they have some other form of, which probably has to do with the CRM, and I'm assuming, and that they want to get into the spa thing because they see it's a big opportunity. So they're starting this spa division of their company. At least that's what I'm saying. And so this page here, it's saying, I believe somewhere it said it was like, didn't it say that it was in like trials or
Yes, beta.
yes, beta. So it's in beta. So it could be both, right? But yes, it's completely confusing, and that's why we're asking the questions.
well,
That's what we're doing. We're looking at something. So here's what we're doing, Tom.
oh, I see that it's down here in 2005 on this page. You got right here. It says 43. That's what we were looking at. 43,600. I don't know. It says
2025, which is this year. They're saying
right.
they did that. That's not even close to 8. And they said that there was 18 million revenue last year.
But it says B2B commissions though. Is that commissions? Is that
No,
their
it's
total revenue?
consumable. It's not commissions, it's consumable. So they have B2C skincare.
It's
That's the
green.
green.
Yeah.
All right, which is 0. Then they have a B2B consumable. Oh, and then they have a B2B commission. So I don't know, they didn't talk about a commission anywhere here.
That must be their 30 bucks.
That's their commissions. It looks
Yeah,
like it's
that's
not their
30.
revenue.
And going from 43,000 to 132 million. I mean, what?
Oh, no, it's going from, wait, listen, Tom.
What?
Going for $43,600 in 2025 to $5,464,000 in 1 year.
Yeah, I know. And then in 27, it's 38 million. And then in the next year, it's 132 million. I mean, what are these guys? They're goofy. They're goofy. There's no way. And they give no track record of how that's going to happen. You know, what's the breakdown of going up 6 billion% to get the this is a joke. Is this what they gave somebody to invest in? Is this the information? This is it? Jeez. Well, good luck with that.
That's what I say. I don't know anybody that would invest in anything based on this.
I would hope not.
That's why I asked you all to remember about what you saw when you were looking at the commercial property that gave you every single detail there is to give.
Yeah.
Like the revenue and the rent rolls and the leases and the information about each lessee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was an add value deal. We didn't even go into that. And then the
This is-
loan, and then here's this, there's no information. I mean, at least the loan said you're getting 12% a year, 1% a month. And then you get these bonuses when you get bought out.
You have
Right,
no
and
idea of your
everybody-
return. Yeah. Well,
And
that's crazy.
if they believe that they are going to be making $5.5 million this year, what do they need 2 million for? Where's that revenue coming in?
Well, somehow they got to buy the initial machines. If
Well,
they're
they've
given,
got the
if they're
initial
given,
machine.
what's that?
They've got the initial machines. Maybe that's what the 2 million's for, is for the
That's it.
machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But it
saying.
doesn't
That's-
say what the money's for.
Yeah, I know. Well, it doesn't say much of anything. It just gives some graphs and charts that are made up, hypothetical graphs, based on no information.
I have some questions regarding the machines because, and I think in the beginning of the presentation, it says it's zero cost to the clients, which means that they give them these machines to use. They're not paying. The client's not paying for these machines. But, and then later on, they mentioned that when they're talking about the clients, they refer to the machines as their machine, like the client's machine. So how did we lead to, we're not charging them for this machine? That's why it's going to be easy for them to sign up. To, once they sign up, they're not leaving because their machine, they have their machine and we have the data. So it was
Yes.
that I didn't get.
The relationship.
Yeah, in one instance, it's referring to the clients paying $0. To me, if you're not paying for it, even though the device is at the client's location, the company owns that. But then later, you're referring to the device as their device, which means that, ownership is the client. So that leap I didn't get.
Not the companies.
Yeah.
Right, so I could get a machine. And if I don't ever have any clients, I've got the machine. And I have no data to turn into them.
Yeah, whose machine is that? I didn't get that's one of my questions.
Well, even if you're a facial operator, do you have to use their machine, or it's just one of the options that you have to do a facial with, and you can still do facial other ways? So what's the incentive for them to use this machine? What advantage does this machine have over what they're doing in the marketplace right now? I don't get the uniqueness. There might be there, but they've never mentioned what it is. And if there is a uniqueness to it, somebody better be putting some money into marketing to get awareness built out there. And to go to 132 billion, they're going to have to be a hell of a lot of marketing to get there. There'd be more. They need marketing to get to 5 million in the year 2025. This just seems like it's a total amateur thing. It looks like it's the first draft of something that now you got to build the parts to it to put some meat on the bones.
Yeah, so here, they're hard to switch their device. but then it was zero cost to acquire. So how did it become their device?
Mhm.
If they didn't
Well,
Where
change?
does it say their device?
on the
It's-
competitive position page,
Yeah, I'm on that.
to me,
Yeah,
if I was an esthetician and I invested all this time and money to go put myself through esthetician school, this is actually kind of an insult to me and to the consumer. Like, why would I want to do this? Because basically, it's saying, well, we keep your information. And then as an esthetician, as a business owner, why would I want to give my people's information away, which is a privacy issue in some states? It could actually be, especially if it's like the meta stuff, it could actually be a HIPAA issue because they have to ask questions about like what your medical background is before they do facials on you. So I think this just sounds like a big fat E.
Well,
No.
they're gonna do that. They're gonna do they're gonna do the social media and the from what I was reading.
Yeah, the influencers, micro influencers, does that mean that those are people who are like want to be influencers and say they're an influencer? Because there's a lot of people on Instagram that are like that. So
Micro
I'm an out.
Did they ever say, Peggy, what makes this device unique and better than what's in the market?
They didn't say, did they?
No, I mean, and so what is the incentive? I mean, does the facial a technical person get paid more because they're using this machine? Or do they get the same amount as they would do some other facial? I don't get it. I don't,
Well,
unless they have a uniqueness to it, you know, they got an electric car when everybody else got motorized cars or something. I don't know. But if
it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say how it's unique. It doesn't say who the skin specialist is. Right? None of
Yeah.
that. So those are all so this is really a perfect example of what we're talking about. And people, if this is their second raise, which again, they didn't say what their first raise was or what they used that money for or what they're going to use this money for, is a perfect example of why you wouldn't invest with them at this point without real information,
well,
which some people do. Some people look at this and go, wow, this looks really unique. I'm in.
132 million in 3 years. Hot dang.
Well, some people have that. You know, they've got 20, 30, $100 million. So 2 million's like $20. So they might do it if they are particularly into, but I'll tell you, somebody that's got $100 million isn't going to invest this without asking all these questions that you have asked and brought up. And I haven't even opened the checklist.
What about the existing debt that they have? Do they have any debt?
Have what?
Any existing debt? Like, I mean, if they are doing they already did a first round. Now you're doing a second round. That means you ran out of money. They didn't show, my question is, what are you raising the money for? Like, what, like, did you guys get some debt or something when you were building the last one? Because there's a reason why you're looking for people to join the second round.
Exactly. And again, why would you put your money in something without knowing how you're going to get your money back? There's not one word about what you're going to get back or when or what that schedule is. There's no pro forma there because they don't have proof. I mean, the proof of income, no proof of income. Let's say they did $43,000 this year. People put 2 million in altogether. There's no return. Is it a 5-year before you get something? Is it 10 years? I mean, all that has to be put together.
Did we finish the whole thing? Because I'm interested to see what are their other sources of revenue, or is that's we went through the whole thing?
Yeah, we went through the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot missing. I need to
We're
see
talking about
the last 5 years of data. I need to see revenue, expenses, assets, liabilities, cash flow. Like, we don't have any of that.
None. Right. No,
Eh,
no income, no expenses.
I don't think they have it. I don't think they're operative yet. I think all this is projection going into the market. I don't think they've
Wish.
got any business at this point. Maybe that 54,000, I don't know. But that, I don't think they have 5 years of data. I don't know if they have 5 months.
The only way to know is to ask, so this has been great.
I
Did you
would like to know too about this one keeps coming up. What are the salaries for these experts? And what position have they, how much money have they put in? And is there a structure? Because I was in a thing before where they actually did do capital calls. Is there anything else? Is it just straight money? Or are there other things where they're going to gotcha? Oh, we need some more money, and you have to put this much in.
Well, they are doing a capital call. It's called round 2,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
It's not.
going in looking for new investors. So the real question to me was, if I was in round 1, did I just get diluted?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to be diluted. If you're smart, you say, okay, round 1, we have this much for your percentage, and then round 2, and then round 3, and round 4, however many there may be. But if it's such a hot item, and yes, you need money for production. For sure, you need production. But if you made $18 million in 2024, where did all that money go? And maybe it went back, which I doubt very much, to round 1, or there wouldn't be a round 2. Lots of questions. Did you all put this on your spreadsheet under the business? Good. Great. Sarah? Did you? Okay.
Definitely, definitely. This is very interesting. I saw this. I don't know, from the beginning, my what is it? My scam detector went off, and I thought, I represent a company that does, I'm an independent rep for a company that does skincare, and I have a bit of familiarization with this, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right. It's just not.
It's just not enough
you know.
information yet.
Well, yeah.
Information
I-
wasn't put out to entice an investor, in my
It
opinion.
almost, you know what it felt like, Peggy? It almost felt like these people were shocked. They got somebody interested, and they have a brochure just in case, and it's not up to date. It's just not right. So, but that's great, because we get to see the difference between, the first example you did with the strip mall, and now this, and you can see a real difference. So
Great, thank you.
yeah.
So Nathan, I'm calling on you because you have purchased companies, and I would like your, well, what I'd like is, what do you look for when you're looking at a company? Because you're buying a service company. This company had a product. So when you're looking at an insurance company, how does it differ from what we just looked at that had a million questions?
Yeah. I think another big difference between what we just looked at and what I look at is I look at established, mature companies.
Mhm.
None of the companies I look at have less than a 5-year track record when we're talking about revenue. So we're not seeing any gigantic explosions in growth of revenue. We're seeing, okay, maybe a 5-10% change, or they might be a little more aggressive, but there's a track record, there's an established line that you can see the trend.
Right.
So I think that's big difference number one. Also in a product versus a service-based business, one of the things that we do is we get a list of the clients because it's an annual recurring revenue. So we can see who's been on there for a regular basis, be able to identify them, and then in some cases even reach out to top clients to get their feedback and their experience so we can understand how the business we're looking at is handling things. So that's another big difference. I mean, I personally have lived in the same world basically my entire career, and so I don't invest outside of businesses that I understand. And so I wouldn't even know where to begin in a business like this just because I don't live in that world. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit different. We also get to talk to employees and stuff like that. That makes a bit of a difference as opposed to a product-based business.
Yes. Well, and they're manufacturers too.
Right.
That's a different business also from, I mean, big difference between service and manufacturing. All the parts you need, all the employees you need.
Yeah. And especially right now, I know logistics and the whole line for finding all the parts to the products is getting more complicated. So that's another thing to understand when purchasing a product-based business, especially in the current tariff environment that we're in. There's a lot of uncertainty there.
Well, for sure. We didn't even bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
They're European. They probably are European based. That's the other thing that wasn't there, was it didn't talk about where they're located to do their manufacturing.
Peggy, there
Another
was on one of the slides you had, there was an address. It looked like there was an address or there was some information and
It said Dallas, New York, San
no.
Diego.
It was actually in the copy above. It wasn't where they serviced, but there was some place, I think it was when they talked about the CEO of the company or something, and
Oh,
it looked like it had a country abbreviation. I didn't recognize it.
Oh,
So,
well,
but
I'm
it
sure
was not the US.
yeah, well, they say they're European, and yes, Constantine, who gave me this
Yeah.
to look at, is European.
Yeah. I was thinking it was Switzerland, but I wasn't sure. So
Oh, yeah, he's I don't remember what Bulgaria, I think. Maybe met a gal from Bulgaria.
okay.
He's over in that, yes. So you call it Middle Eastern? No, that's
Eastern Europe, Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Bulgaria.
yes.
I will
East-
say this. I'm interested to see the cost of this because they didn't even. I remember when I had a product-based business, I put a pitch deck together. I needed to show the cost of production, and then also how I plan to lower the cost in the future because product-based businesses, usually as you scale, the cost gets lower. And also to their competitors. I didn't see a slide about their competitors. Who out there is doing, I think Tom mentioned something like that. Who out there is doing something similar and what makes yours better? I didn't see a slide on that. And last but not least, I'll say I need more about the team. I need to know what have you done in the past? What, have you grown companies in the past? Like, I don't see any background about the team. So those are some of the questions.
All of that.
They don't even have the basic in there, Peggy, of why a facial operator would buy this particular device. They don't even have that. They don't have a target customer or a defined target customer of why one of these people who are out there would rather have this than what they're doing right now. The basic. Then all they've done is they've shown some wild projections with nothing. There's nothing behind this. The 5 employees and thing of we get $30 and we give you this product and there we're going to make 132 million. And
Well, maybe we should all order a product for ourselves.
you have no idea who the target customer is. You don't know how it's going to get to them. You don't know how they're going to build awareness. They're not how they're going to draw people into this particular facial location, how is this gonna help their business? Nothing.
I got it. Well, those are some of the questions that I did send out. I didn't think to ask them about an esthetician or who was the skincare. Where's the skincare expertise? But I did ask for the income and expenses. You got to see that. Everyone's got.
I don't
that.
think they have any. I don't think they've got a going business yet. I think they're still in
You don't
this
know.
startup stage. I don't know what that $18 billion slide was. That looked like a projection.
It was
too.
nothing that reflected it on what they showed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna, if I can figure out how to cut that part out of this recording, I would send it to him so he could put a new summary together showing us exactly why we should invest. Because we have no idea who they are. I've met him twice now, and he seems like a nice person, but so what? I met nice people before that have ripped people off, so it isn't that. So we're good?
We're good.
All
And
right. Thank you all for being here. This was absolutely fabulous. I hope you
Thanks,
got
Peggy.
it out. So you don't have to leave yet. I want to ask questions, and I have a few gifts, which I hit on myself. So, and if you want to stay a little longer, I know it's been a long morning and afternoon, but so thank you all for being here, and goodbye, Tom.
Yeah,
You only
right.
had an hour. I really appreciate you being here. I love all the feedback. I'd love more feedback, and I'd like to send a survey out and have you be super straight and honest about what you got out of this, what you would like to see, how improved, the way it ran, my technology background and how I'm just so right on it. I never have a problem moving through anything. Everything always goes so smoothly, as you noticed, right? So I have my gift to you is having a one-on-one with me. And it could be to talk about anything, or we will take a look at one of your opportunities. If you've got an opportunity you want looked at, I'd be happy to do that. We'll get, and I will get a link sent out to you. Again, I'm in the middle of changing the company, so things are not going very fast because I'm not technically informed about how to do these things, that I have an assistant. So that, and in addition, we have a new podcast. It's called The Curious Edutainer Podcast, Wealth Builder. And I would be happy to work with each one of you separately, as a podcast, do a podcast interview, and you can talk about how you build other people's wealth. This idea is to build your business. So you get to come on and talk about, and I just need a couple questions at your end and a little bio, and then we'll talk for whatever time. I always like to get on and talk with you first and have our, what you're looking for to come out of the conversation we have. And it's just a conversation. I mean, pretty much everybody I've seen on podcasts do a conversation, doesn't look like a Q&A, like the military's asking all these questions kind of thing. So I think that would be, I will have a great time doing that because that's fun for me. I love being with people and having lots of fun with that. So I'd be happy to schedule that. And then you will get a copy of that, and then you can do whatever you want with it. All right, we'll send you the link. So that, and then I am offering an annual membership for, if you want to pay monthly, it's $225, or you can pay for the annual at $24.50. And then I'll just be available when you have a deal. You can contact me and I'll look over the deal. It took, so Jocelyn sent me her investment. It took me about 5 hours to go through that, and deal with it. It's a lot of work to do that. And I prefer that you do send something ahead of time so I could look it over and then we talk. And that would be like for the year. So if you're doing like 5 or 6 deals or you end up doing no deals, the idea is to make sure you're protected. And we'll go over these. You've now got sheets, right, with questions. So if you want to do that, I'm open to that. And then I do hope you have enjoyed today. And I also thought, this is beyond, those were the gifts. And if you are running a meetup and you liked what happened today and you would like to make a little money, I will give you a, what is that called? I wrote it down so I wouldn't have to remember that word. Referral. We have a referral program. So you'll get a link and you can ask me to come speak and you can use that link, and whoever signs up, you'll get paid a referral fee for that. Right? So there's a way to make money on that, especially if you have, I mean, you guys on the meetup, you're always talking about exchanging 500 people. Think if 1% of those signed, you'd get a couple $100 altogether. And then don't forget, there's this book that I just got out this year called Build Your Nest Egg, Discover the Magic of Money and Investing. And it's a basic of money and how money works. And it's great to start reading to your children or your grandchildren, if you have them, about the basics of money. And we give you things to do in here and ways to make money and ways to save, and talking about the policies that Tom was just talking about that can build the wealth for your children and have them be millionaires by the time they were 30. You think about that. If you started your children when they're born with a policy, and then by the time they're 6, you got them working for you and started their Roth IRA, by the time they're in high school, they can pay for their own college. And by the time they're 30, they've got $1 million. They can choose to do whatever they want. And then we'll go through these struggles that people do when they say, oh, I'm retiring this year, I'm 65, and now I'm going to start investing. Too late, people. Don't lose the time value of money. It's so important, especially with the depreciation of the dollar. So, like that. So I'd love you to buy the book, even if all you do is give it to a friend who's got kids, especially. I love it for kids. I talk to a lot of parents and they say, no, I haven't started talking to my kids about money. I'm like, well, how old are they? Oh, they're going into college. Like, are they paying for themselves? No. So anyway, maybe I just think differently than other people. Maybe because I don't have kids, I don't have that extra crap coming into my head. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. Any comments or thoughts for today?
I have a question regarding the business deal. Looking at that from my perspective, there's a lot of information not included. So if I were to get something like that, I probably would have just passed because they didn't put that much thought into it. So from your perspective, do you spend the additional time asking for that information, or thinking that if they couldn't even put this deal together, this summary together with all the information necessary, it looked like they didn't do a lot of the due diligences. So for that reason alone, I probably would have just not continued to spend that much time. So is that something you do, or you vet the deal completely?
So,
Anyway.
so this gentleman I met at a family office, and we just started talking, and he said he had something, would I take a look at it? And I said, yes. Normally I would just send an email back saying, this is something I'm not interested in. Or I would say, there's not enough here mostly I would say, there's nothing here for me to make a decision. I have no idea. And then I would give a short list of what was missing. Like, I don't see anybody that I don't know who your team is. I don't know what kind of return I would get. I don't know what your timeline is. I don't know anything. Until I know everything about your company, I'm not interested. Mostly I get real estate deals, and and they are sending them to me to invest, and because I've been raising capital for years, I'm like, okay, you're sending something to me, but you haven't done a background on me. You just send stuff out to people without knowing who you're working with. Kind of really bothers me, especially with people that just come up to you and start talking to you like, you want to invest in this? Like, I don't know who you are, and you obviously don't know who I am. I'm pretty picky. I like to meet people and talk to them and get to know them, and that doesn't mean that they are the right people until you do those background checks and see how many, what I call turns, how many turns they've had in their lifetime of investing as a sponsor or syndicator, whichever you want to call them. Which is why we're asking about your gentleman that's only got 3 years that we could see. He put five properties together in the first year, which seemed reasonable to me, but if he came from another business, maybe not. How come he had all that great experience to be able to do 5 properties in a year where most people would do 1 if they were just starting out? So it does raise a question as to who these people are, if that makes sense. I don't know if that answered your question or not, but 90% of the things that come to me, I just basically delete or say, no, thank you. I don't want to be rude to them, but I don't want to be solicited. If I want to go find an investment, I already have my 10 or 15 people I'll work with, because I've been working with them for years and I know them. And I had somebody that I had met a few years ago, and I told him all the things he could do to start making money. And this was about 4 years ago. And he sent me a deal saying, I finally put something together and this is my first deal. And what was great is he said, and this is my first deal. So that's what he sent out to all the people he knew as an investor. And I wrote him back and I said, congratulations on getting this. And as you know, I don't work with startups. And he came back and said he's got somebody that's mentoring him through this. And I said, congratulations. So let me know how it goes. So like that, right? We all have to start at some point, but we talk to people that are starting up and tell them, go find this person. You don't want to be making mistakes, and you are high risk for an investor to come in and put their money with you. You're too high of a risk. We say we have a round file for most people like that. Does that answer your question? Was that TMI?
We're here for TMI.
Much information, yeah. Anything else?
I just want to say thank you, Peggy. I mean, there's just, when you're making an investment, there's so much to consider and so many details. That's just great to hear you go through all of them and know that, it's your money. And as an investor, you have the right to know all of this information, and you need to have it to make the best decision for you. So,
yep. It's like dating. All those first questions. Yeah, so I hope you and your husband will do a little talking about, what happened today and what you're thinking about. And because you happen to be married, your 5 years was where you are in 5 years isn't just you, right? It's the two of you together. So where you want to be in 5 years, and maybe that'll help you come up with some new questions and thoughts and the path. And I don't know what all that is now. But I'm happy to have the conversation with you, Sarah, anytime.
Look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more invitation, and that is, if you want to come back next month in October, I don't have a date yet, but if you'd like to, you're welcome to come on. I'm happy to have you. So that would be, yeah, if you're welcome, really. I don't know what happened to everybody. A few people, Tirza is on an airplane, so she couldn't be here, and a few people had different things come up, so they didn't show up. But hopefully they'll be here next month, and a few more people, and I might go over the same ones again, or maybe something new will come. And here's the other thing: if something comes up that you want looked at, and you're going to be at the course next month, we'll use yours. And you know how we can tear it apart. So I think it's fun. It's not like we're saying no. We're just saying we need more information before we can say yes. And that information that we're asking for needs to be answered. So we can't say yes. And they can't.
And that's actually really positive to the person who you're considering, the company you're considering. They should consider that, like you said, a second date. The fact that you even want a second date, is really positive. So
Exactly.
as opposed to the round file.
Oh, I had this company I was working with, they used to send me their underwriting, which I told you is like 10 pages.
The land of opportunity part 2.
And then they sent me like a 2-page thing. And I said, what is this? And I said, there's nothing here I can make a decision on. Oh, we send this out because people get confused with the other information. I'm like, what? I said, don't you ever send this to me again. I want to see your underwriting and I want to see everything. Okay.
Again, I might insert, you should have told them, those people they should send to you so you can train them.
Oh, that's what I did at the family office. I started talking to people saying, hey, I'm doing this. And interestingly, people were really interested. So I have a billionaire that I'm talking to hopefully someday this week. And we'll see what he says, because they're always raising money. His first couple deals, he made $100 million on it. So, and now I've got this, I could take a snippet of it and send it over so they could look at it, so they get an idea of what we're doing, like that. Anything else before we say goodbye to each other? I'll miss you.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank
This was
you.
amazing. And I will be back for the next one.
Okay, good. I'll let you know what that date is.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, Jocelyn, if you need anything, you know where I am.
Thank you.
Tatiana, thank you for being here. I'm sorry you missed the first part. My
No, I
apologies.
was here. I just was off camera, but I was
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
And Caitlin.
I'm coming to the next one. Thank you. I'm sorry to miss the technical issues, but I will be at the next one.
Oh, somebody that's in my wheelhouse. Oh, I don't feel alone. Yay.
I will tell you this though, the attendance, that's normal. Like I'll have people sign, I have a group about 30 people. I'll have maybe about 7 or 8 people on the call every time.
Yeah.
So it's normal. It's
It's pretty
Okay.
typical. Yeah.
20%
Catalina,
is-
I didn't see your number in the chat. Could you take my number and message me? I wanted to know more about your business.
Yeah, sure.
You're welcome, Nathan. Thank you for all your
Catalina, Tatiana, right? Tatiana?
Yes.
Did you put your stuff in the chat? Because I sent you a private message asking you for your information because I'd like to talk to you as well.
Okay.
So if you could put it in the chat right now, then we can.
Yes.
I'll download it.
That would be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Feel better, my dear.
Well, we're just waiting for the sun to burn off the clouds. That's usually what happens.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the moisture in the air. I have mold exposure, so the moisture in the air attack my nervous system. So.
And I keep going outside and asking the universe to let it rain.
It keeps like I'm waiting, like my sister calls me every day from Washington and let me know that there is sun. So it feels like we have Washington weather and they have our weather.
Oh.
Where are you? Oh, you're in Florida, Caitlin?
No, I'm in I'm in Los Angeles, California. So pretty much Sherman, but I'm on the outskirts on Sherman Oaks. But normally this time of year we get our second summer. So we're hot. Like when I say 100 degrees, it feels like an oven outside. And this year,
Wow.
it feels like it is already fall. Like I mean, you can't even get in the pool right now because it's
No.
cold. It's
We
it's
actually
really
got-
weird.
Yep, this is the first week we've had cool weather. And guess
Wow.
what? It's the first week of fall.
I know, and that's why I'm like, it's never we're never on the
Never.
seasons.
Nope, we're usually out by the pool or down at the beach.
Because all our tourists are gone. So in California, if you don't know, you come at the end of the season, and that's when our waters heat up and the weather's better. Because if you come in June, it's June gloom. July, the clouds
July,
burnt off.
dry.
July, yeah, the clouds are burning off, but you're not the clouds burn off, but you're not, the water's not warm. And at the end of July, our water heats up. So you have the whole month of September to experience summer in California. And this year is not happening.
Okay.
Wow. It's wild.
All
Yeah.
right, everyone. I'll see you next.
Bye, guys. Nice
Or
meeting you
bye.
all.
Thank you so
Peggy.
much.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for co-hosting, Lachelle. That was very lovely of you.
You're welcome. And Peggy, I'm just going to tell you, so two things. I love that you started with the one that was most well put together, because I think that it actually helped people see what to look for the other ones. What I may recommend for next time is, because a lot of us were confused by what we were supposed to do. So maybe do a really quick pull up the schedule and do a blank one and say, okay, these are the kinds of things that you may want to be looking for as we're going through these documents, and what questions you have, because I think all of us were a little bit confused, like what were we supposed to be putting on there. So once we saw your document, we're like, oh, we all got it. So
Oh.
does that make
Even
sense?
if there's nothing filled out. Yeah, see.
Yeah, but I wouldn't give them an example, or maybe,
me
because
stop
I know
you.
what you said. You